Iloga ngaya makat kamapat kilo Uganda anywali Uganda mapira te kilo kumlweni kumaloga me piny tiki geni meno alagam mabe pa Afrika lo kumlweni kumaloga me piny marajo tie en kany bot Lobo Del Col. Vanessa Nakate wani pira tekni Afrika obet kineno pigien pigi kengi wakilweni kumaloga me piny matiyeli Wilobo kule karimani ena wani Afrika tiki jami dinwa miarguti kwere melweni kumaloga me piny dok lagam duju tie kany bot Lobo Del Col. Wakili report mateuti kamlokman kimukene mo wakati kwele pigin kany iloga nge mochiny kongwanen report matika bino eni. Anyaga mati anywali Uganda matiki neno matek loko mulwenye pia loga me piny man Vanessa Nakate owaini mono Afrika tiki jemdino ma myero melwenye koma loga me piny mati yelu Wilobo kulo ikare mani.
As much as it feels like theater, it's important to have these spaces because that is where, these decisions take place. And we saw that at COP27 with the Loss and Damage Fund. But this is not, the decisions that take place in these spaces, they're actually influenced by the power of the people. And that power I've seen on the streets from when I started, joining the climate strikes in 2019.
Enobedo kacoke kacoke majel makiloni Africa Climate Summit maubutum michiadek nildwe abichel medjemia bungwen in Nairobi, Kenya. Ketineno kono loko miyo lim kineno kit mekelo wikachel melweni kamalaga me pinyi Africa. Laboncho alo Wilobo kolo ipero matut. We are
here to demand that Africa's energy system must be decolonized. It must be brought out from the hands of the corporates. It is time for the African people to stand together and make a demand that what we need now is systems change, not climate change. What we need now is that Africa's energy system be decolonized. It should be put in the hands of people. This is not a time that we should promote carbon markets. It is not going to put an end to the different climate crises that Africa is today facing.
Really hoping that through this, we actually start to amplify the African voices, where then we can really make sure that governments listen to us. But we also build a collective so that across the different regions we come from, that people can start to recognize and push and hold their own governments to account. Because we cannot wait for an African event to hold our governments to account, but we hope that we will, using the different partnerships, the collaborations, the collective, we then can start to hold our governments to account.
Nakate wani tilo gadani Afrika tikono kalweny mateka malala me piny ento ben tilo gadan dan ma party Afrika kitika lweny yogi ma part dok no mirguti kachel wek lweny man otuch pil.
Voices of different young people and everyone across the African continent to demand for climate justice.
Tien mapol enobedo kaloko wani mono tidan mo pegi par pegi lweny man ento pegi teku dutual ni umerke ketkin ilwenyi koma loga me piny I Afrika. Karibet ni mono Afrika chwale yama kiloni greenhouse gas matie kono % ario nyadeke ken pa yaman Wilobo kolo en benetika nongo pero malet pia loga me piny malupe kono kiri report pa UN ne pero man titutuale lo konto pa piny kidong pi aluga macho.
We are not here just to talk about Africa or climate change in the usual way, which often accentuates our divisions. You all remember the North versus South, developed versus developing, polluters versus victims.
Kajoke meniana dek matika time I Kenya ni tikono kimire mekelo kachel lutela palobe piara bichu yangwen magati Afrika meka tikinena chel marom menen kiweko Afrika odogo alum dok no gitiu kachel menen peroman kichobo duju. Ngat mo jolo dano iparwa mege man President William Ruto owani piare tekniki tika chel menene lonyo pa Afrika oberutie pedano magiti anywali Afrika dokitika chel owek aduke malet pa loga me piny pedoro non dan ritual pol dan bene balgi pere ikom aloga me piny.
We have the carbon sinks that serves the world, cleans our environment. acts as sequestration of carbon that is produced by others. But we get nothing for it. It's not anywhere in our balance sheet.
I very much hope, for example, that in the COP28 coming through, US and China, two largest emitters, would leave aside their tensions, geopolitical and economic tensions otherwise, and come close and converge their agendas and come with a joint or at least a common position in many areas.
Neno madit loe kacoke man nitie merayo lim gitoro wit kachel me konyo dano magiti Afrika kabedo pa dano bilion acel tona ang'wen magiti kemeke penga polo wa partikare man ikom ajoki me aloka me Piny. Kacoke man ma acel me Africa Climate Summit ni obutero dan kacoke moken madit ma obutime kindwe me apawi acel kidwe me apawi ario e mwaka man COP28 International Climate Summit ma obutime United Arab Emirates makono kelo neno pa Wilobo koloka acel ikoma loka me Piny. Peloga nge ma ochwiny e wan luo television aniasa